everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be an eyeshadow review. I am going to be reviewing and going over the Colourpop Pretty Please palette. So I have the eyeshadow palette here, as well as 3 of the color sticks. So in today's video, I will be going over the details, inserting in some swatches of both of these items, as well as pulling you in closer, doing 3 eye looks, and then just going over some of my final thoughts. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't yet, and let's just get started talking about the details of this collection. I moved over a little bit because I'll be inserting in some swatches right next to me, but this was a fairly large collection. I believe on top of the eyeshadow and color sticks, they also released some cream blushes with this collection, as well as some different lip products. I only picked up what was interesting to me. Even with the color sticks, I only picked up 3 of the 4. I have not tried any of Colourpop's color sticks. I actually haven't bought from Colourpop in probably over a year now. There was a time where I was just picking up collection after collection after collection, and I just had so much. I ended up reselling most of it because it was brand new in the packaging. So I really just had to take a break from Colourpop for a little while. And since then, I've been trying to be a little bit more mindful of my purchases and really only picking up things that interest me. Imagine that. I did really just like the aesthetic of this whole collection. It's very pretty to me. It has like Parisian vibes. I live in France, so I just couldn't pass it up. Let's go over these color sticks first. So as I mentioned, I picked up 3 of the 4. I didn't pick up the really frosty light pink shade. I just knew that was one I was not going to wear. But these retail for $7. They're a little bit smaller than I was kind of thinking that they were going to be. Here's just like a comparison against the size of my hand here, but that's okay. For $7, I'm not going to complain about it. So the shades that I picked up are Romance Novel, Feminine Charm, and First Kiss. Here on the Colourpop website, they kind of describe what it is. So it says, create endless pretty looks with our super creamy multitasking shades in a stick that glide on effortlessly. It's ultra pigmented for high impact color in just one swipe. It also features a long lasting formula that lasts all day. Line it up, wear it all over, smudge it, smoke it out, wear it in so many ways. Use the built-in sharpener to create the most precise tip. I'm glad I read this because I would not have known it had a built-in sharpener. I'm assuming it's in the bottom here. Yeah, okay. So you just pull out the bottom and then you have a little sharpener there. I would never have known that had I not read that, so I'm glad I did that. And then now let's go over the eyeshadow palette. So it just has these really desaturated pinky tones in here. I'm gonna go over the description in a minute. I think I just smudged my finger in there, but it has 12 shades. I'm really just liking this. My only hesitation on this right now is just the versatility of this palette. Yes, it has different shades, but are those looks gonna really just come out the same at the end of the day? But this palette does retail for $18. Colourpop says, stay flirty with 12 shades of feminine pinks, antique grays, and soft lavenders in matte metallic, matte sparkle, and super shock finishes. It features our ultra pigmented blendable pressed formula that's long lasting, applies evenly, and feels super velvety. Now that I've gone over what Colourpop has to say about this palette, let's just pop up a swatch photo real quick. I'm going to go top to bottom, left to right here, and we're going to start with All the Frills, Pearly, Old Money, Vintage Queen, Love Letters, Be a Doll, Feeling Flirtatious, 444, Dear Diary, Floral Affair, Oh So Dainty, and Sweet Thing. And then for the inspiration, it says, create the prettiest looks with delicate shades inspired by all things coquette. Coquette is more of like a younger term for doll. It does mean doll in French, but it's not really the initial translation. It's hard to explain, but it's more of like a cutesy name for doll. And I think that they really encompassed it very well. It's even great for Valentine's Day. I did see Colourpop's Valentine collection come out. I'm not interested in that. I was tempted by those blushes, but I can't just buy something for the packaging. I haven't had any of the little heart-shaped blushes, and I'm not going to this year. I'm going to pass. The heart blushes also looked very light. I don't know if I was the only one that is thinking that, if the colors were blown out. You'll have to let me know in the comments, but it didn't seem like the shade range was that great as far as those blushes. So anyways, I'm going to be passing on that. This is going to be my Valentine's collection from Colourpop. That's what I'm counting it as. So I was surprised to see that it says it has Super Shock formula, and it also says it has matte, but it really only has like 2 mattes in here. Most of these are the mattes with the little shimmers in them. I know some people hate that, some people love it. I'm gonna see how it works on myself. I don't mind it. I just think that it kind of blends away into nothing. So that's why it's like, I don't think it's a fair representation of what's in pan, but on the eyes, I don't necessarily mind it. I believe that they do it to make it a little bit more blendable, but I could be wrong here. Anyways, that is the details on what I picked up from this collection so far. I am now going to scoot you in and we're gonna see what kind of looks I can come up with. Okay, I'm just trying to decide here if I want to do a look incorporating the color sticks with the palette, or if I want to just use the color sticks on their own. I might just try and do all 3. So I think look number 1, I'm going to use just the color sticks. Look number 2, we'll kind of do like a mix and match of both. And then look number 3 will be just the palette, just so there's some versatility there. If you only bought the palette, not the color sticks, you have a look with that. If you bought both, you can do both. Or if you just bought the color sticks, you have a look with just the color sticks. That seems like the best win for everyone. So 2 of these are matte and 1 of these are metallic. So I think it just makes sense for look number 1 with these color sticks to do my signature look, which is a matte in the crease, deepen up the outer corner, and then put a shimmer on the lid. That sounds pretty fun and easy to me. I like that. So first up with this lightest matte, I'm going to go in with Romance Novel all over the lid. And then I'll be putting Feminine Charm also all over the lid, but a little bit more just as a metallic. And then First Kiss will kind of deepen up the outer corner. I'm gonna go with this MAC brush here. I don't know what number it is because it's worn off, but it is a natural haired brush and it's kind of pokey. So I feel like it spreads around creams a little bit better than other brushes that I have. This is the one I always use like with my Oryx, etc. And you do have to be careful because I've already on like all of these smushed the top. I don't know if you can see, but it's no longer pointy there. And I think it's because I just didn't roll it down all the way. I kind of rolled it down like this. So just be careful of that, but let's go in right here and just kind of smear this everywhere. I'm not going to be too precise with it. And then I'm going to start to blend it up and out. It's a little bit more frosty, less matte than I was thinking, and more lavender. Not bad, but sometimes like it's just a little bit too light. It does have some hint of gray in there. I'm gonna continue to just blend this up, try and lift my eye a little bit. I'm pretty tired, so it's always the first tell when my eyes are a little bit more hooded is when I get the least amount of sleep. All right, so here's the first shade to lay down. I would say that it blended fairly easily. It didn't dry down too fast. I just had to go let my dog out so she could bark. I've noticed if I film after noon, the barking's just nonstop, but I really need to wake up earlier so I can film earlier. It's just been a little bit harder for me to wake up earlier because it is so freaking cold outside and all you want to do is stay in bed. So I've been kind of slacking on waking up early. Well, I've been waking up early, but I guess I don't get out of bed early. And that is my problem because then I just get frustrated because my dogs want to be dogs and they want to bark at stuff. Let's now go into this next creamy matte. This is First Kiss. I'm just going to deepen up this outer corner here. I'll do the bottom lash line at the end just because I'm afraid of like dry down time. Going to just kind of put this on top. We'll see how these sticks just build on top of each other. And I'm going to use the same brush to just deepen up the outer crease here. I don't know if that builds on top of each other that great. I haven't really seen any reviews on this. I haven't just watched Colourpop reviews because when I'm trying not to purchase something or like get into the habit of buying everything from something, I'll try not to watch videos so I'm not tempted. So I'm not really up to date on what people think of these. I'm kind of getting the feeling, I mean, they are pigmented. I will agree with Colourpop's claim on that, but I'm kind of thinking they're not good for like multi-looks. They're just good for one and done shadows. And I would never, like this first shade, I would never wear as a one and done. This color is kind of like they're just mixing together. It's not really looking like its own. And it's looking very gray on camera, not so much purple. And then this outer corner I clean up at the end here. I don't have the greatest eyesight, especially in this area, so I have to just do that at the end and just not worry about it. But that's kind of like the best we're gonna do here. I'll just try and blend this out a little bit more. I'm not loving that. Let's put the metallic on, see if that saves the day. So the metallic is Feminine Charm. And again, I'm gonna kind of just messily put this on. Maybe I should do it with my finger. It's like completely crumbling, by the way. So maybe it wasn't the lid. It feels creamy when you put it on, but it does kind of like pull. When I'm putting this on with my finger, like I can feel my finger dragging on my eye because it's drying down before I can even swipe it. I don't know if the metallic's a little bit different. And really, without my glasses on, I can't even see a difference between the matte and the metallic. It's not a very bright, high shine metallic. I don't feel like the color's translating the best on camera here. It does look a little bit more pinky purple, less gray toned, but it doesn't look good, right? This doesn't look good. All right, we're gonna persevere. I'm gonna take this off. It's no big deal. If it doesn't look good, that's the point of these videos, for me to make mistakes so you don't have to. And then I think for bottom lash line, I'm just gonna go in with the deeper matte because A, I'm feeling kind of lazy. I'm not really enjoying this look. So I don't really wanna do anything too crazy. Just gonna blend out this. And again, I'll fix that later once I do look number 2. Yeah, no, I'm not loving it. You'll have to let me know your thoughts in the comments. Am I using these wrong? Maybe I'm not using them correctly. I'm not really sure here. I'm a little bit nervous for look number 2, but let's get started. How do I want to combine both of these? Do I want to just do a cop out and use it as a base? Not really, because I don't really like it as a base. I think I'll just use First Kiss as maybe a liner situation because I don't want to use one of these as a base. I don't like them as a base. So let's just do like a normal eye look with this palette here, and then we'll go in with the color stick. So first off, for look number 2, I'm gonna go in with Be a Doll and just apply that all over the crease here. Blend this up. Hopefully this comes out a little bit less gray toned on camera than these color sticks. It's just for the amount of effort I had to put in these color sticks, it's just not worth it. Like, this look is not cute to me. Now that I have this in the crease here, I'm gonna take a smaller, just blending brush, and I'm gonna go into 444. Let's do more of a halo. I'm gonna put that on the inner and outer crease here. So that way we can put a really nice Super Shock or some kind of more sparkly shade than whatever that metallic is in the center. Keep this much more pinky toned. This shade's really pretty. It's actually showing up really nicely. I'm gonna go back into Vitalumiere, just blend out the edges here. So it comes up and it's a little bit softer. And now what metallic shade do I want to go into? I'm kind of thinking Love Letters maybe, keep it really pinky. Is this a Super Shock? It feels like one. Yeah, let's go in with Love Letters and just pop that right in the center there. It definitely is a Super Shock. You can feel how it's bouncy. And then now I'm gonna go back in with that blending brush. Just make sure, especially right here, that it's blended together. This kind of is like what I was worrying about. Like I feel like the shades just don't really stand out from each other. And that could just be my amateur eyeshadow skills, but I don't know. I don't feel like, again, this is like flattering. Maybe I'm just not doing something flattering for myself. It's kind of pull, just because of the hood, pull that up a little bit higher. Go back in with 444, just kind of bring this up so you can see it when my eyes are open. And then go back in with my bigger blending brush and blend it out. Maybe I'm just not going up high enough. Better. Okay, lower lash line. This has been interesting. I was not expecting to like feel this way about it, but I'm gonna go back in with Be a Doll for the lower lash line. And keep it pretty simple here. It's not really showing up. I'm gonna go in 444. That's better. Okay, that's better. I feel like it's coming together a little bit more. Now I'm nervous about going in with the color stick to line. I'm gonna go in with my same just small brush here. Actually, am I gonna do that? No. I'm gonna go in with my angled brush just so I can get, and it's pretty much crumbling when I'm trying to get product on here. And then I'm gonna go in and just line the lash line. Let's see how this works as a liner. It's not really working as a liner. Okay, the color sticks, I'm glad I didn't pick up all 4. And at least they were inexpensive. Not a huge fan of these. It's like okay to be subtle, but this is almost too subtle for me. And I like subtle. And also just kind of blend it really close to the lash line. All right. Here's look 1 and 2. I'm gonna put mascara on, clean up the outer corners here, and I'll be back to show you the final looks. And then we'll see what we can do for look number 3, but let's first finish these up. Here I am back with mascara on to see if it made these looks any better, but here is look number 1 with only the color sticks. And then I have look number 2 here with just the color stick on the lash line. I was able to make it just a little bit more opaque. And then here is what they look like with my glasses on, just in case you wear glasses and want to see. I'm not loving either of these so far, but now I'm going to take these off and we're gonna start look number 3. Hoping for some redemption in look number 3 here. I think I'm gonna go into Floral Affair. This is one of those mattes that have a little bit of shimmer, so we'll go in with that first. I'll probably put Pearly in the inner corner just so we're using as many shades as possible. And then I think I'm gonna go in with Dear Diary. Like these two together I think will be really pretty. And then maybe either go into this one or this one. We'll just kind of play it by ear. So starting with Floral Affair, And I can say that those color sticks were very tough to get off. I'm gonna save my thoughts just for the end here, but it was really difficult to just get that off of my eye. And now my eye hurts a little bit, not gonna lie. This color is pretty, it's desaturated, it's purple, but you can still see the gray. Still in camera, it's pulling very gray. Hopefully when I go back to edit, it doesn't look as gray. But I'm gonna keep something really simple for this. Maybe just less is more with this palette. And kind of like my suspicions, it's just not a very versatile palette. I'm liking that. Now I'm gonna go in with Pearly, like I said. I'm just gonna put that in the inner corner right away. Kind of bring it and sweep it over. Just like that. Going in with Dear Diary all over the lid here. It is that Super Shock formula, so they are correct. And those, I think, are the shades I'm liking the most out of this palette so far, which it's just like, yes, having a palette is nice because I don't reach for my singles as much as I should, but also I kind of feel like just get the singles for less money and then you can pick and choose the shades you want, because I wouldn't, all the Super Shocks out of here, like I wouldn't have grabbed every single shade. This shade is a little bit lighter than I wanted, so let's go into Oh So Dainty. This is not a Super Shock, but I am going to use my finger. It feels kind of more of like a metallic, and it's more of like a purple kind of shade. Let's just kind of put that on the outer corner. Did I just completely mess this up? This is not blending on top of this Super Shock. I'm gonna try and use my brush. I'm gonna try and use my brush maybe to blend it on top here. Not very metallic, is it? I'm gonna go back in with the Super Shock. Kind of try and blend the two. Okay. And then let's go into that dark brown and just deepen it up, give it some kind of depth. Like I just feel like it's flat. None of these colors really stand out from each other. Like on camera, I feel like if you saw this, it's just not translating well. Like there is light and feminine, and then there's just, you might as well slap one shade on your lid, and I'm not against those looks. Like I like single shadow looks. It's just when I'm adding 4 or 5 shades and it looks like a single shadow look, I don't want to put that work in. Like that doesn't sound fun to me. I'd rather just use one shade. Back blend this out and then start the lower lash line. I was actually really excited for this palette too. It's kind of disappointing. I got this before my birthday and then I just had stuff going on. I couldn't review it. I'm gonna go back in with that crease shade and do the lower lash line while I talk here. So I think I mentioned this in previous videos, but my brother came with his wife. So I was busy just, you know, hosting them, as well as my birthday came. It was New Year's, and then they left and I got really sick, like the sickest I've been in 10 plus years. I can't even remember the last time I was that sick. So I've had this palette just sitting here waiting for me and I was really excited to use it, and now I just feel let down. Lastly, I'm gonna go in with this deep dark brown, do the bottom lash line, and then I'm gonna call it a day after I clean up the outer edge. Like you can't even see that deep dark brown. It just blended into that shade and almost just created a new shade. Okay, I am going to do the second eye off camera, add some mascara. Again, we're just gonna see if that kind of saves the look. I'll be back to show you, and then we'll go over my final thoughts. So here is look number 3 completed with mascara. I was having a little bit of trouble with the mascara, so maybe I'm just having a bad makeup day. I don't know what it is, but I just feel like this has no depth, no definition. Really just, you know, I could have achieved this with 2 colors, not the 5 that I used. Here it is with my glasses on. I'm gonna scoot you out, just try and gather my thoughts a little bit and go over the palette and the color sticks. I'm gonna try and gracefully talk about these two items here. Let's first talk about the color sticks. I don't think it's any surprise that I'm not a fan of these. They're fine if you just wanted a one and done eyeshadow look. I would not recommend these as a base for eyeshadow. They don't blend on top of each other. When I tried to deepen up the outer crease with one of them, it just kind of muddied together. There was no definition to it, and they're just not good. Other than the one and done, that's it. I don't think that these are worth your money at all. And maybe I played myself because I haven't seen any reviews or anyone talking about these. That should have been a hint. For $7, they're not that expensive, but I have 3 of them. So I still wasted, over $20 on these 3 items that I can tell you I will never, ever use these ever again. I'm going to try and find someone else who will love them and give them a good home. Maybe my mom, she really likes shadow sticks, and I don't know. I don't like these at all. It was very, very tough to get off after I did look 1 and 2. I always take my eye makeup off so I can do look number 3. And this took a very long time to get off. So whether that's a good or bad thing, you just have to tell me. It clearly is long lasting like they claim. It is pigmented. It is easy to blend. When I put on the first shade here, that was easy to blend all over. However, once you try and use multiples of these on top of each other with each other, it doesn't work out. So overall, I would pass on the color sticks. I won't be purchasing color sticks from Colourpop ever again. And then the eyeshadow palette, not as disappointing as the color sticks, but still disappointing. And I had a feeling that maybe I wasn't going to love it as much as I wanted to love it when I purchased it, because like I mentioned in the intro, I was just worried about the versatility of this palette and if all the shades would look the same. And you wouldn't think that, but because this is so desaturated, it has a lot of that gray tone in it. It does, on the eyes, I just feel like look very much the same if you're not using a Super Shock. The Super Shocks in here are very nice. Definitely my favorite out of them. They're pretty colors. I want to say it's these 3 here that are the Super Shocks. And then, okay, I see what they did. These 3 here, I should have looked closer, are the mattes with the glitter. Then here you have a metallic row, and then here just a pure matte row. So they did kind of separate it by formula. These Super Shocks are really the only thing worth the money in this palette. These are fine, but between this color and this color, it looks different in the pan, but on the eye, it looks the same. This deep brown here, even though it's lighter than this one, it doesn't really show up that deep as far as just deepening up the outer corner. I used it quite a bit, and I really had to build it. I didn't use this shade. This shade was okay. I don't mind this formula. There needs to be more with this palette in order for it to be worth it, in my opinion. I'm not mad that I have it. I'm okay with it. Just this is a palette where it's going to be a crease shade and it's going to be a Super Shock. I'm only going to be using 2 shades out of this palette when I want an easy look, and that's about it. I don't want to waste my money now that I have it. Would I repurchase this? No, not at all. I have other palettes that could easily give similar looks. Even I recently reviewed the Dior Quint, the Miss Dior that came out for the Muliperfection collection. That would almost give similar vibes to this. Maybe it's a little bit more pink and saturated than this, less gray, but I could get a similar vibe out of that palette. So this is just, other than the beautiful packaging, I'm gonna say pass if you haven't yet. I did, when I was looking up information on this palette, I did see that it was sold out on the Colourpop website. So just don't wait for the restock. This is an easily passed upon palette. Considering this was my reintroduction to Colourpop after taking just a year break, I'm a little bit sad and disappointed. It had just so much more potential if it wasn't so desaturated. it had good potential. I kind of want to I'll give Colourpop another chance. I will definitely say that. I'm not 100% off the Colourpop train. I'm just gonna make sure that it's more, hopefully, a palette that I'll like more. I could have seen myself really loving this. It really had potential. It just needed the brightness turned up just a notch and it would have been so much better. I'll still get use of it. Like I said, it'll just be a 2-shadow look. That's it. Nothing complicated or fancy. I mean, I have 5 shades on my eyes right now, and I don't even think you'd be able to tell. I think if I asked someone off the street who like actually knew makeup, not just, you know, my partner or something, they would guess maybe 3. So I'm a little disappointed. I don't think it's a worthwhile purchase if you're asking for my opinion. And I'm kind of thinking about taking this off, quite honestly. I was gonna film another video after this. I was gonna do my Project Pan update. So make sure your notifications are turned on so you can see my progress on those items. But I don't know if I wanna film with this eye look on. I might because I'm lazy, but part of me, like, that's how much I don't like it. I'm a lazy person and I'm considering taking it off and redoing my eye makeup for the 3rd time because I've already had to take off my eye makeup. And I think that that just really speaks volumes and lets me know on how much I'm not loving this. Be forewarned, if you like color, if you even like neutral palettes, that's great. I love neutral palettes, but you're not gonna get any kind of color payoff with this palette at all. They're really just gonna mix together. It's still a nice formula, but the colors just don't give enough where you can distinguish between them. I'm gonna stop rambling though. Hopefully I made my thoughts clear enough. Hopefully the swatches were helpful. I hope you are all having a great, great day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone.